Hopefully this time it's recording. Yes, it is. Welcome back. Oh man, I just looked at chapter 7 and I just realized that it's 89 verses. So that is a lot of reading today. That's why I got my water ready. Because holy smokes. Well, let's get this started because if I any longer, and I'm probably going to be here for the next 2 hours. So we're on chapter 7, right? Yeah, what do I keep forgetting? Good thing I have the channel open over here on this side. You can't really see it. It's on this side. I have 4 monitors. Oh, 3, my bad. Yeah, but let's just get this started. On the day Moses set up the tabernacle, he anointed it and set it apart as holy. He also anointed and set it apart all its furnishes and the altar with its utensils. Then the leader of Israel, the tribe leaders who had registered the troops, come and brought their offerings. Together they brought 6 large wagons and 12 oxen. Huh. There was a wagon for every 2 leaders and an ox for each leader. They presented these to the Lord in front of the tabernacle. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Receive their gifts and use these oxen and wagons to transport the tabernacle. Distribute them among the Levites according to their work they have done. They have done to do." For some reason, I just confuse words for no reason. According to the work they have to do. There we go. I don't know. I don't know if you guys have that same thing where you're reading and then your mind just kind of goes blank, trying to read a word, and you're like, I know what the word is, but my mind keeps thinking it's go, even though it's do. Let's just get this going. So Moses took the wagon and the oxen and presented them to the Levites. He gave 2 wagons and 4 oxen to the Gershonites division for their work, and he gave 4 wagons and 8 oxen to Merarites division for their work. All their work was done under the leadership of Ithamar, son of Aaron, the priest. But they gave none to the wagons or oxen to the Kohathite division, since they were required to carry the sacred objects of the tabernacle on their shoulders. The leaders also presented dedication gifts for the altar at the time it was appointed. They each placed their gifts before the altar. The Lord said to Moses, "Let one leader bring the gift each day for the dedication of the altar." On the day of Nasalam, son of Amminadab, leader of the tribe of Judah, presented his offering. He offered consisting of silver platter weighing 3 pounds and silver basin weighing 1 pound, as measured by the weight of the sanctuary shell. These were both filled with grain offerings and choice flour moistened olive oil. He also brought a gold container weighing 4 ounces, which was filled with incense. He brought a young bull, a ram, and a 1-year-old male lamb for a burnt offering, and a male goat for a sin offering. For his peace offering, he brought 2 bulls, 5 rams, 5 male goats, and 5 1-year-old male lambs. This was the offering brought by Nashon, son of Amminadab. On the second day, Nathaniel, it sounds more like Nathaniel, son of Zer, leader of tribe of Eskar, presented his offering. His offering consisted of 3 silver platters weighing 3 pounds and a silver basin weighing 1 pound, measured by the weight of the sanctuary shell. These were both filled with grain offering and choice flour moistened in olive oil. He also brought a gold container weighing 4 ounces, which was filled with incense. He brought a young bull, a ram, and a 1-year-old male lamb for a burnt offering, and a male goat for a sin offering. For a peace offering, he brought 2 bulls, 5 rams, 5 male goats, and 5 1-year-old male lambs. This was the offering brought by Nathanael, son of Zur. On the third day, Eliab, son of Helm, leader of the tribe of Zebulun, presented his offering. He offered consistent of silver platter weighing 3 pounds and silver basin weighing 1 pound, a measure by the weight of the sanctuary shilk. These were both filled with grain offering of choice flour moist in olive oil. He also brought a gold container weighing 4 ounces, which was filled with incense. He brought a young bull, a ram, a 1-year-old male lamb for a burnt offering, and a male goat for a sin offering. For a peace offering, he brought 2 bulls, 5 rams, 5 male goats, and 5 1-year-old male lambs. This was the offering brought by Elam, son of Helm. On the fourth day, Ezra, son of Shadur, leader of the tribe of Reuben, presented his offering. His offering consisted of silver platter weighing 3 pounds and silver basin weighing 1 pound, measured by the weight of the sanctuary shell. These were both filled with grain offerings of choice flour moist in olive oil. He also brought a gold container weighing 4 ounces, which was filled with incense. He brought a young bull, a ram, and 1-year-old male lambs for a burnt offering, a male goat for a sin offering. For a peace offering, he brought 2 bulls, 5 rams, 5 male goats, 5 1-year-old male lambs, and this was the offering brought by Ishmael, son of Satur. On the fifth day, Shelamiel, son of Zatira Sheldi, son of the tribe of Simon, presented his offering. His offering consisted of silver platter weighing 3 pounds and silver basin weighing 1 pound, measured by the weight of the sanctuary shekel. These were brought and filled with the grain offerings and choice flour moist with olive oil. He also brought a gold container weighing 4 ounces, which was filled with incense. He brought a young bull, a ram, and a 1-year-old male lamb for a burnt offering, and a male goat for a sin offering. For a peace offering, he brought 2 bulls, 5 rams, 5 male goats, and 5 1-year-old male lambs. This was the offering brought by Shemliel, son of Sarishandia. On the sixth day, Elapsaph, son of Duel, leader of the tribe of Gad, presented his offering. His offering consisted of silver platter weighing 3 pounds and a silver basin weighing 1 pound, measured by the weight of the sanctuary shekel. These were both filled with a grain offering of choice flour moist with olive oil. He also brought a gold container weighing 4 ounces, which was filled with incense. He also brought a young goat, a ram, a 1-year-old male for a burnt offering, a male goat for a sin offering. For a peace offering, he brought 2 bulls, 5 rams, 5 male goats, and 5 1-year-old male lambs. This was the offer brought by Elapsa, Elisa, son of Dol. On the seventh day, Elisama, son of Ediam, leader of the tribe of Ephraim, presented his offering. His offering consisted of silver platter weighing 3 pounds a silver basin weighing 1 pound, measured by the weight of the sanctuary shekel. These were both filled with grain offerings and a choice flour moist with olive oil. He also brought a gold container weighing 4 ounces, which was filled with incense. He also brought a young goat, a ram, a 1-year-old male lamb for a burnt offering, and a male goat for a sin offering. For a peace offering, he brought 2 bulls, 5 rams, 5 male goats, and 5 1-year-old male lambs. This was an offering brought by Ishlam, son of Hidiambu. On the 8th day, Galadim, Gamaliel, son of Padasaru, son of the leader of the tribe of Masheh, presented by his offering. His offering consisted of silver platter weighing 3 pounds and a silver basin weighing 1 pound, or pounds, measured by the weight of the sanctuary shekel. These were both filled with grain offerings and choice flour moist with olive oil. He also brought a gold container weighing 4 ounces, which was filled with incense. He brought a young bull, a ram, and a 1-year-old male for a burnt offering, and a male goat for a sin offering. For a peace offering, he brought two bulls, 5 rams, 5 male goats, and 5 1-year-old male lambs. This was the offering brought by Gahemiel, son of Padarashur. On the 9th day, Abidam, son of Gidoli, son of the tribe of Benjamin, presented his offering. His offering consisted of silver platter weighing 3 pounds, a silver basin weighing 1 pound, measured by the weight of the sanctuary shekel. These were both filled with a grain offering by choice flour moist in olive oil. He also brought a gold container weighing 4 ounces, which was filled with incense. He brought a young bull, a ram, and a 1-year-old male for a burnt offering, a male goat for a sin offering. For a peace offering, he brought 2 bulls, 5 rams, 5 male goats, and 5 1-year-old male lambs. This was an offering brought by Abidam, son of Gidom. What did I say with an O? On the 10th day, Ishiro, son of Amashidai, isn't that the same as the other one? Leader of the tribe of Dan, presented his offering. His offering consisted of silver platter weighing 3 pounds and a silver basin weighing 1 pound. I think that's supposed to say 1 pound. Measured by its weight on the sanctuary shell. These were both filled with grain offerings of choice flour moist with olive oil. He also brought a gold container weighing 4 ounces, which was filled with incense. He also brought a young bull, a ram, and a 1-year-old male for a burnt offering, a male goat for a sin offering. For a peace offering, he brought 2 bulls, 5 rams, 5 male goats, and 5 1-year-old male lambs. This was an offering brought by Ishmael, son of Hanamiah Shadi. On the 11th day, Padil, son of Okram, leader of the tribe of Asher, presented his offering. His offering consisted of a silver platter weighing 3 pounds and a silver basin weighing 1 pound, measured by the weight of the sanctuary shell. These were both filled with grain offerings of choice flour moist in olive oil. He also brought a gold container weighing 4 ounces, which was filled with incense. He also brought a young bull and a ram and a 1-year-old male lamb for a burnt offering, a male goat for a sin offering, and for a peace offering he brought 2 bulls, 5 rams, 5 male goats, 5 1-year-old lambs. This was an offering brought by Padil, son of Akram. On the 12th day, Ashira, son of Edom, leader of the tribe of Naphtali, presented his offering. His offering consisted of a silver platter weighing 3 pounds and a silver basin weighing 1 pound. They measured by the weight of the sanctuary shield. These were both filled with a grain offering of choice flour moist with olive oil. He also brought a gold container weighing 4 ounces, which was filled with incense. He also brought a young bull, a ram, a 1-year-old male lamb for a burnt offering, a male goat for a sin offering. For a peace offering, he brought 2 bulls, 5 rams, 5 male goats, 5 1-year-old male lambs. This was the offering brought by Ashira, son on Edom. So this was the dedication offering brought by the leaders of Israel at the time the altar was anointed. 12 silver platters, 12 silver basins, and 12 gold incense containers. Each silver platter weighed 3 pounds, and each basin weighed 1 pound. The total weight of the silver was 60, and measured by the weight of the sanctuary shield. Each of the 12 gold containers that was filled with incense weighed about 4 ounces, measured by the weight of the sanctuary shield. The total weight of the gold was 3 pounds. 12 young bulls, 12 rams, and 12 1-year-old male lambs were donated for a burnt offering, along with their prescribed grain offerings. 12 male goats were brought for the sin offering. 24 bulls, 60 rams, 60 male goats, and 60 1-year-old male lambs were donated for a peace offering. This was the dedication offering for the altar after it was anointed. Whenever Moses went into the tabernacle to speak with the Lord, he heard the voice speaking to him from between the 2 cherubim above the ark's cover. The place of atonement, the result of the Ark of the Covenant, the Lord spoke to him from there. Well, so all that was actually just to show that each one brought the same amount, all acquainted to the actual sanctuary amount, which is actually very interesting. I think those numbers actually mean something later on, but that's more like in Romans, so I'm gonna have to keep like a note of that somewhere on here. The Lord said to Moses, "Give Aaron the following instructions when he sets up the 7 lamps in the lampstands. Place them on their lamp shines forward in front of the lampstand." So Aaron did this. He set up the 7 lamps so they reflected their light towards, just as the Lord had commanded, all forward. The entire lampstand, from its base to the decorative blossoms, was made from beaten gold. It was built according to the exact design the Lord had shown Moses. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Set up the Levites apart from the rest of the people of Israel and make them ceremonially clean. Do this by sprinkling them with the water of purification and have them shave their entire body and wash their clothing. Then they have been ceremonially clean. Have them bring a young bull and a grain offering of choice flour moist with olive oil, along with a second young bull for a sin offering. Then assemble the whole community of Israel and present the Levites at the entrance of the tabernacle. When you present the Levites before the Lord, the people of Israel must lay their hands on them. Raising their hands, Aaron must then present the Levites to the Lord as a special offering from the people of Israel, thus dedicating them to the Lord's service. Next, the Levites will hold their hands on their heads lay their hands on the heads of the young bulls, presented one as a sin offering and the other as a burnt offering to the Lord, to purify the Levites and make them right with the Lord. Then have the Levites stand in front of Aaron and his sons and raise their hands and present them as a special offering to the Lord. In this way, you will set the Levites apart from the rest of the people of Israel. The Levites will belong to me. After this, they may go into the tabernacle to do their work, because you have purified them and presented them as a special offering. Of all the people of Israel, the Levinites are reserved for me. I have claimed them as for myself in place of all the firstborn sons of Israel. I have taken the Levinites as their substance substitutions. My mistake. I don't know why I say substance. There's no other. A. For all the firstborn males among the people of Israel are mine, both both of people and of animals. I set them apart for myself on the day I struck down all the firstborn sons of Egypt. Yes, I have claimed the Levinites in the place of all the firstborn sons of Israel. All the Israelites I have assigned the Levinites to Aaron and his sons. They will serve the tabernacle on behalf of the Israelites and make sacrifices to purify the people, so no plague will strike them when they approach the sanctuary. So Moses, Aaron, and the whole community of Israel dedicated the Levinites, carefully following all the Lord's instructions to Moses. The Levinites purified themselves from sin and washed their clothes, and Aaron lifted them and presented them to the Lord as a special offering. Then he heard the sacrifice to purify them. Oh, he offered a sacrifice to purify them and make them right with the Lord. Again, I don't know why I do that. After the Levinites went into the tabernacle to perform their duties, assigning Aaron and his son, so they carried out all their commands that the Lord had gave Moses concerning the Levinites. The Lord also instructed Moses, "These are the rules that the Levinites must follow. They must begin serving in the tabernacle at the age of 25, and they must retire at the age of 50. After retirement, they may assist their following Levinites by serving as guards at the tabernacle, but they must not official. They're not official in the service. This is how you must assign the duties of the Levinites." Huh. That's very interesting. I say that a lot, but like I said, this is like my pretty much first time actually reading the Bible, and I don't know much about numbers. All I know is that they're going to be on their way to the promised land, and I think Deuteronomy is going to be, I think, the final journey of Moses before he dies. A year after Israel's departure from Egypt, the Lord spoke to Moses in the wilderness of Sinai. In the first month of that year, he said, "Tell the Israelites to celebrate the Passover at the prescribed time, at twilight at the 14th day of the first month. Be sure to follow all my decrees and regulations concerning this celebration." So Moses told the people to celebrate the Passover in the wilderness of Sinai as twilight fell on the 14th day of the month. And they celebrated the festival there, just as the Lord had commanded Moses. But some of the men had been ceremonially defiled by touching a dead body, so they could not celebrate the Passover that day. They came to Moses and Aaron that day and said, "We have become ceremonially unclean by touching a dead body, but we should be to wait, we should be prevented from presenting the Lord's offering at a proper time with the rest of the Israelites." Moses answered, "Wait here till I receive instructions for you from the Lord." This was the Lord's reply to Moses: "Give the following instructions to the people of Israel. If any of the people now and in the future generations are ceremonially unclean at Passover time because of touching a dead body, or they are on a journey and cannot be presented at the ceremony, they must still celebrate at the Lord's Passover. They must offer the Passover sacrifice 1 month later, at twilight at the 14th day of the second month. They must eat the Passover lamb at the time of the bitter salad, greens, and bread made without yeast. They must not leave any lamb till the next morning, and they must not break any of the bones. They must not they must follow all the normal regulations concerning the Passover. But of those who neglect to celebrate the Passover at a regular time, even though they are ceremonially clean and not away on a trip, they will be cut off from the community of Israel if they fail to present the Lord's offerings at a proper time, and they will suffer the consequences of their guilt. If a foreigner living among you wants to celebrate the Passover to the Lord, they must follow the same decrees and regulations. The same laws apply to both native-born Israelites and the foreigners living among you. On the day of the Tabernacles was set up, the cloud covered it, but from evening till morning, the cloud over the Tabernacles looked like a pillar of fire. This was a regular pattern at night. The cloud that covered the Tabernacles had the appearance of fire. Whenever the cloud lifted over the sacred tent, the people of Israel would break camp and follow it. And whenever the cloud settled, the people of Israel would set up camp. In this way, travel and camp at the Lord's command whenever he told them to go. Then they remained in their camp as long as they could stay over the Tabernacles. But if the cloud remains over the Tabernacles for a long time, the Israelites stay and perform their duties to the Lord. Sometimes the cloud would stay over the Tabernacles for a few days, so the people would stay a few days as the Lord commanded. Then the Lord's command they would break camp and move. Sometimes the cloud would stay only overnight and lift the next morning. The day or night when the cloud lifted, the people broke camp and moved. Whenever the cloud stayed above the Tabernacles for 2 days, a month, or a year, the people of Israel stayed in camp and did not move. But as soon as it lifted, they broke camp and moved it. So they camped or traveled at the Lord's command, and they did whatever the Lord told them through Moses. Huh. So that's interesting. So in chapter 7, it's mostly about, I think the numbers mean something more. I'm going to have to look more into that later. But I think the numbers are supposed to represent more of something that's going to happen in Romans. That's all I can remember. Yeah, a little water break. Yeah, so I think that's what, I don't know. We'll find out more about what those actual numbers mean. I believe it's supposed to be in Romans of why all these things in Leviticus and Numbers actually mean. Because right now I can't really tell you what they mean. I mean, you can see all the numbers of each one thing, but I can't tell you what they mean. So, but it is interesting that all of them did that as sort of way to the sanctuary, and now he gave the Levites actual not like, I was gonna say power, but not power, but he gave them sort of like to be right with the Lord, because I think at the beginning the Levites were not right with the Lord, and now they are by their actual offerings that they've been doing. And I know a lot of people are gonna say that is a lot of animals that they're killing. Are they gonna have any more for more offerings in the future? But the thing is that the Lord is blessing them a lot. And from what I could tell you from the not the book of Isaac, from Isaac's story, is that when the Lord blesses a certain amount of people, they get a lot of animals. So it's not like they're going to run out anytime soon. They're going to have a lot. And now we come into chapter 9, which talks about more of the Passover, which is in the first month, or the 14th day of the first month, which in our calendar, it's not really January 14. For them, I believe it was April, around Easter. So April to them is the first day of the month. But for us, it's actually January when we actually read that. I believe I could get my King James Bible out and actually check this real quick. Yeah. So I have it over here, but that's actually interesting that they keep mentioning the month and the year. But the actual, but if you actually put it to real life, to the actual real life calendar that we have, we don't really have all that. So we're gonna have to go to chapter. We're on chapter 9. In the wilderness of Sinai, in the first month of the second year. First month of the second year after they came out of the land. So in here, it doesn't actually say anything of a day. It just says the first month of the second year. And this is supposed to be the same verse. I know. Oh, here it is. Found it. On the 14th day of this month. Huh. So I think the people that made the New Living Translation probably saw verse 1 of the of chapter 9 and saw first month of the second year. I think they figured that when they went to verse 13 in the 14th day of this month, I think that's when they finally I think they got confused and actually put that there. I know, because translating the Bible, yeah, you're going to have some grammatical errors, but grammatical errors does not mean it's contradiction, because they're pretty much saying both the same thing, but I think one may have gotten more confused than the others. But that's one thing that a lot of people on TikTok constantly say, that the translation of the Bible is incorrect, but it's not really incorrect. It's grammatical incorrect, but they all say the same thing. I know a lot of people. I think some people were saying about what was it? It was what was it? I know people were saying something wrong. I think it was like Mary's birth or the Jesus birth. I think they were saying that wrong. That Jesus was born on the 25th of December. That he was born more like in around March to April, which coincides with the Passover. And what was the other thing? I just had something in my head. Completely forgot. Shit. I just had something in my head about. It wasn't about Mary. Oh, what was it? It was something that I wanted to talk about too before I left, but I can't remember. But I guess I'll say it in the next one and write it down somewhere, probably in my notes somewhere around here. But other than that, I'll see you all tomorrow. Thank you for watching.